Armored Core Law, Algebra. In war, they say numbers matter, and for this corporation they had just that, a strong mass production line, but even that could not stop them from changing their history. History. The history of algebra begins as it once was known as Iqbal. They were one of the 6 major players in starting the National Dismantlement War. They used their might in the form of MTSs, normals, and even links to conquer nations in less than a week, leaving them to have an iron grip on South Asia and its resources. After this, the corporation allied with the other corporations during the Pax Economica War, putting down terrorists who threatened the corporation's peaceful reign, only then to find themselves against their allies years later in the Lynx War. The war took its toll on Iqbal. Taking the side of GA and its allies, the corporation suffered heavy losses from losing their champion Lynx and his next Sahada to Antonia's mercenary, and suffering heavy losses as the corporation sent MTs, men and even normals to battle alongside its allies, only for many of them to fall to the necks of other corporations. It is only after the Lynx War did Iqbal get a chance to recover from their losses. With the introduction of the League, the corporation took this chance to rebrand themselves as Algebra, as they sought protection from the League as they rebuilt their power base back in their own country. Throughout this time, it is clear that Algebra still held a great number of resources since the National Dismantlement War, and with it forced the people of South Asia to work for them if they wanted to eat or drink. A cruel tactic, but effective one, as Algebra once again rise to power, with the corporation becoming known for specializing in close-range weapons such as machine guns, shotguns, and even an arms fort. Their Lynx, taking a lightweight, heavy mobile and designed for close-range combat approach. These crafts made up for their lack of defense with both lateral and vertical movement, allowing pilots to strike foes from all angles. Such an example of this is the Akiza, a middleweight reverse-jointed Nex based on the Cabal's Caesarby model. It's an aerial fighter with low energy drain and effective, slightly underpowered boosters focused on mid-range to close-range battles. However, what struck out most during our research is the fact that the corporation had the perfect testing ground for its weapon. With a range of quarrying regions under their control, it gave them ample opportunities to test their products, ensuring they are effective enough in real battle conditions. They did nothing to quell these regions, to bring peace, instead using them as battlefields to test their weapons. It should also be noted that Algebra banded together a lot with Omer Science even during the early stage of Lynx War. As such, it is a wonder if they received help from the Power Corporation to help rebuild their own power. Products. As stated, Algebra focused mainly on close-range weapons such as machine guns and shotguns. Some of these include the Vanda, a quick-firing machine gun that is said to be able to rip through primal armor, the Satine shotgun that fires 16 rounds per shot, again during close combat it is said to have torn apart primal armor with ease. These were not the only weapons, however, the corporation made, starting with the Lair handgun, the Kiki blade, the Kamal slug gun, the Sampel grenade gun, and even the Yasemin flare. Along with these firearms, however, Algebra made other parts, such as the Salaf series of all Nex parts, the Injil arms, the Twahide legs, as well as the Ikahaza series of all Nex parts, and the Duskanor legs and main core booster. Along with this comes the once famous Karakun, a fast charge-class Algebra transport and support arms fort with shredder-like appendages attached to the front. Its most notable feature is its ability to carry, maintain and deploy a swarm of aerial combat drones. Its appearance is that of an overturned soup bowl covering its suspenders and tracks with a monolithic regulator structure laying lengthways over its top. Although built primarily for high speed with no emphasis on offense, it carries several combined missiles and autocannon turrets on the top of its platform, covering the top of the suspension, just below the rectangular tower superstructure. The main drawback of this arms fort, aside from its lackluster ornament, is that uneven terrain might require the edges of the Super Bowl to be raised as to not dig themselves in, leaving the treads inside momentarily vulnerable. The drones, not to be forgotten, are each equipped with 2 automatic recoilless rifles and are launched from the towering superstructure as it unfolds after the tracks below the skirt armor have been disabled. This arms fort, however, would meet its match against the mercenary with the support of GA during the mission Defeat Arms Fort Karakun in Armored Core for answer. It just shows 1 minute these corporations fight by side, the next they are blowing each other up, all in the name of resources. Links employed by Algebra. Shiv Anel Amabi, pilot of Karen Crow, said to be alive. Ibis Orenstein, pilot of Moses, killed by the Raven in attack on PAN-51 in Armored Corps France. KK, pilot of Liver Drive, said to be alive as mentioned in Armored Corps France. Nadiza Droid, pilot of Fever Flow, said to be alive in AC4. Shahana, pilot of Ataman, killed by Anatolia's mercenary in Ego Boost in Armored Corps 4. Shahar Ravi, pilot of Red Rum, killed by a mercenary in Defeat Red Rum and Starka in Armored Corps 4 answer. And here we reach the end of all we know of Algebra, the corporation that would never try to bring peace to its regions so they could test their weapons, and one of the corporations who started the National Dismantlement War. Here ends the report on Algebra, formerly known as Cabal.